The Zaire Wade situation is looking horrible. I'm just being honest here. Now, many of you know Zaire Wade has been playing in the G League for a while now, and a lot of people really want to know what's the truth about this guy. Is he really good enough to play in the G League? Does he have a shot at playing in the NBA and living up to his father's name, or is he just a bum and really terrible at basketball? Now, number one, Zaire Wade has definitely taken a untraditional path to the NBA G League. For sure, everyone thought he would be in college right now, but of course he's actually playing for the Utah Jazz G League team that his father partially owns, and man, I think that's where he messed up. He made a mistake that honestly, in my opinion, I think is setting him back a long amount of time and how good he could actually be in the future. And odds are, man, if we're all being honest, Zaire Wade probably wouldn't even be in the NBA at all if it wasn't for his father. Now let's take it back to where it all started. Zaire Wade initially played in Florida, where he honestly was dominating competition. This dude was averaging 20+ points per game playing in Florida, and he looked like he was gonna be that guy that we all thought he would be. Of course, when you're the son of an NBA player, man, you have a little type of chip on your shoulder. You want to prove people wrong, show them that you can hoop and that you're gonna be even better than your father. And that's what everyone thought Zaire Wade's name was gonna be. He seemed like he was that guy back in Florida. So what do? You're playing for a school in Florida. Well, why not go to maybe a better team, a more talented team where you can play with super talented guys, play against ranked players every single game to help improve your game and get you ready for the next level, whatever that be. It seemed like a great position, a great move to make, because Zaire Wade would have the opportunity to go play with who? Bronny James. And this seemed like, why wouldn't it work? The two sons of NBA players teaming up to go out there and destroy competition. They got a ton of talent. Let's do it. But as soon as Zaire Wade went to Sierra Canyon, man, I think this is where things started to take a turn for the worst. Now, Zaire Wade went there. Of course, this competition is much different than what he played in Florida. And when he went there, man, his numbers were not looking good at all. Now, it would be unfair of me to exclude the fact that Zaire Wade was injured for part of the season as well, but his numbers actually looked like this. Now, this dude was averaging 4.3 points per game. 4.3 points per game. I'm being honest with you, when you're putting up numbers like those, if you're any other type of person, no one is taking a look at you. No one is taking a look at you if you're averaging 4 points per game. That is just not enough type of production to be able to even get looks at by college teams, let alone professional teams, whatever. You're not getting looked at when you're averaging 4 points per game. Come on now. But obviously, of course, because he's the son of Zaire Wade and people see potential in him. That's the thing when you have NBA players' sons. They're different than regular recruits because they have potential. And of course, I'm sure the father has some connection to other schools, and it's going to make him attractive. Again, you have Zaire Wade, the son of an NBA player, man. Why not take a chance on him? He may actually pan out somewhat decent. Now, it would also be wrong of me as well to say Zaire Wade was getting a ton of playing time, because in all reality, he really wasn't. And Dwayne Wade even got frustrated with the coach and pretty much wanted Zaire Wade to leave the program altogether because Zaire wasn't getting playing time. He really wasn't getting as much playing time as he thought he would. Of course, even being a senior as well, it just wasn't looking like a good move at Sierra Canyon. Dwayne Wade was upset, Zaire was upset, but of course, it looked like a good squad. It looked like a super attractive team to go to, but Z Wade just was not getting that type of PT. His numbers weren't looking good. So what's the next step? Of course, you're probably not going to go to college right away. You didn't really get as much time to develop. You being injured that senior definitely can hurt a lot of things. So he decided to go to a prep school. Now, he went to Brewster Academy, which a ton of people have gone to, but unfortunately, this is when things got even worse for Zaire Wade. Now, he ended up going to that prep school, and again, things were going around. The basketball season basically got shut down. Film crews were not even allowed to go and film there, and that's why we haven't really seen that much footage from Z Wade after high school basketball, because Ball is Life was not there, Slam was not there. None of these film crews were actually able to see him. And Zaire Wade, honestly, the numbers of this dude, whatever he was putting up at Brewster Academy, were pretty low-key. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think he was doing much. Again, if you're not playing against that many teams, I don't know how much it's really going to do for you. again, you will be able to train and work on your game, but we just have not seen the game footage like that from Brewster Academy. Now, after leaving there, Zaire Wade made the big decision. A lot of people thought he would go to college, and I honestly think this was one of the worst mistakes that he made. Z-Wade decided to go to the G League where his father was part owner. Now, a lot of people are saying that, of course, if you're the father and you were in the NBA, you're an NBA legend, of course you're going to do that for your son. But I don't 100% agree with that. I think, of course, some people are going to say, yes, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my son in the NBA to help him out a lot. But if you know he's going to fail in the NBA or he's not 100% ready, he's not ready to make that move, why even bring him to the G League in the first place? Of course, you can develop in the G League, but when you're not putting up a lot of numbers, depending on how much weight you really hold in the organization, son could be out of a job real soon. But in this case, of course, Zaire Wade ended up making that move. Again, I don't think all fathers would do that, to be honest. It's nepotism, you guys know it, but I can't blame him. At the end of the day, a ton of people would do it. And if you're trying to get to the NBA and someone else that you know in your family can help you out, man, I would take the same thing if I was Zaire Wade. Try to get a bag, go to the NBA G League. But on the other hand, again, when we talk about development and really improving over a long-term period of time, I think it was super important that Zaire Wade took his time going to the NBA, if that was even a possibility. Again, he really hasn't proven himself thus far, especially with the numbers that we saw in high school, which is why I think college would have been another place for him to really show how good of a player he is and really be able to match up against other people in his class, older guys, to really show, man, can this dude hoop? Can he live up to that Wade last name, or is he just another average player that we see a ton of NBA players' sons end up being? We all knew it wasn't going to be an easy transition going from that post-grad school all the way to the NBA G League. Again, Zaire Wade really hasn't played organized basketball like that in a minute, so going from Brewster Academy to this actual G League would be a huge jump. And man, a lot of people saw this coming. Some were optimistic, they thought he would really hoop, but these numbers are looking horrible, I have to be honest here. Now, he's averaging 1.8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game. 1.8 points. This dude is 6'3", and he's actually playing around 19 minutes per game. 19 minutes and you're only producing that much. You guys know, I gotta be honest here, man, this is brutally me being honest. If he was not the son of an NBA player, this dude would be out of a job so quick. We've seen how it's so hard for a lot of hoopers to even get a position in the G League. People who have been stars in high school, ranked #1 in the country, the Trayvon Duvals, man, you got a ton of these guys who even struggle to get a spot in the G League. And then you have Zaire Wade that comes along, who, again, he's doing what he has to do to make the NBA. And you know, at the end of the day, I gotta respect it, but man, it's crazy the discrepancy between the two situations. You even have somebody like Jello who is grinding his way into the G League, and I'm not saying he's perfect, man, but we all notice the differences that are going on with these situations. Zaire Wade actually ended up suffering an injury that would basically end his G League season. I believe it was his knee, and in that case, man, you're injured, you're not producing that much. It's just crazy how you could continue to have a spot in the league. Now, honestly, man, if Zaire Wade could turn it around or take this time to really get better and come back next season and really be hooping, man, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him turn things around, because again, we've seen times where this dude can take over and get buckets and he can be an effective player, but I think right now it's just timing was the biggest issue. And I think taking a jump to the G League just because you had the opportunity to do so may have not always been 100% the right move. What's even crazier about this situation is the fact that he's probably still gonna have a spot on this roster. I think it's crazy. Again, 1.8 points per game. 1.8 points per game in 19 minutes, man. You see the production is absolutely not there for sure. And it's crazy how he can still have a spot on this roster. But again, you guys know his father is partially owner of this team. And that's what happens, man. Sometimes you just have to take what you can get. And in this case, man, Zaire Wade is just doing what he has to do. So for sure, if I was in his position, man, I think the best move probably would have been to go to college. But you're already here, man. Enjoy the time while you have it here. Try to improve improve, and hopefully he can get his numbers up so that he can keep a spot on this team, and maybe one day we'll see this dude in the NBA. But as of right now, man, things are looking horrible for Z Wade. Now, did you know Bronny James just got exposed on TikTok? Well, click the video on the screen because you won't believe what he responded with after he got exposed.